Wonderful.
Hi.
Hi.
My name is Dr. Malone.
Nicole, nice to meet you.
It's nice to meet you too, Nicole.
Thanks for having me in today.
Oh, of course. I will be processing your intake interview today. And before we get started, I want to let you know of our confidentiality regulations. So everything you talk about today is confidential unless it promotes harm to yourself or others, or if you know of any abuse of children and elderly, or if you're in any legal situations that I need to know about.
Okay.
All right, and so what brings you here today?
My mom's making me come in because she thinks that I'm acting out at school. I got arrested a couple weeks ago and she was like just kind of concerned and hoping that I could talk to someone, work through some issues, I guess.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, before we go further into detail, I'd like to ask you some questions about yourself first.
Okay.
So, how old are you?
20.
And what is your race and ethnicity?
Caucasian.
And do you attend school?
I do. I'm a student at Emmanuel College.
And do you have an occupation or a job you work at?
Yeah, I work over at a restaurant in Kenmore for like 20 hours a week.
Okay. And do you have a marital status or relationship status?
I'm single, just like dating.
And do you have any dependents that you rely on, such as family that you live with, or are you by yourself, or?
No, I support myself.
And do you have any religion that you hold important to you that I need to know of?
No.
All right, now why don't you tell me a little bit about your family upbringing? What was your family like?
I grew up with my two parents. They are married still. I had two younger brothers. They're 16 and 14, and they're very important to me. I like them a lot. Otherwise, it was like fairly normal, I guess.
And what do you mean by fairly normal?
Like, we were just pretty much like any other family. Like, I grew up in like a pretty normal suburban town. I didn't really get along with my parents ever, just because we have very different beliefs and standards. But it's just like normal parent-kid conflict, I think.
And why don't you tell me about the different beliefs you guys have?
It's over a bunch of different things. I'd say the first one's probably like religion. My parents are both very into Catholicism, and I'm not at all part of it. So they're very against like serious relationships or like living with like guy friends that I might want to live with. They're very against like drinking and any drugs or anything like that, and it's just extremely annoying to put up with. And they are against tattoos, and that bothers me because I think they're cool.
And about what age have you experimented with drinking?
I've been drinking since I was like 14.
And how often would you say you drink currently?
Currently, like 3 times a week, probably.
And around what age have you taken part in any drugs?
I started smoking weed when I was a sophomore in high school, and like played around with some other drugs, just like LSD and shrooms and stuff, but never got really seriously into anything.
And what would you say your social life is like? Could you explain that to me?
Yeah, like right now at school, I like have friends. I live alone, so I don't really like see people that often, and I work a lot, so it's like I pretty much just see my friends at school, but that's how I like it. I don't really like spending time with a ton of people.
And how would you explain your experience at school?
It's fine. I show up, I get my work done, and I leave. It's about all the interaction I want with school.
And what's your major there?
I'm a chemistry major.
And how are you enjoying being a chem major?
It's fine. It's hard, but I don't know. I don't really care as much as my parents want me to about it. So there's like a little bit of conflict there just because I don't really care about chemistry, but my parents love it. They think it's like the coolest thing. So.
I can see how you would feel about that. Would you say you were pressured into becoming a chemistry major from your parents?
Yeah, definitely. I'd rather be a dance major, but that's not gonna happen.
And how do you feel about dance?
I love it. I think it's so fun. It's good exercise too.
How important is exercise in your daily life?
It's like kind of important. I just don't really have time, so it's becoming less important because like it can't be, I guess.
So, explain your experience juggling school and work on a daily basis.
It's fine. I mean, I used to, like last semester, I was working like 35 to 40 hours a week. And that was just way too overwhelming because it's like full time school and full time job. But this year, or this semester, I'm only working like 20. So it's a lot more manageable. I'm not stressed over it.
I can see how that would be a big weight lifted off your shoulders.
It was nice.
So, let's go to how you've been acting out at school. Could you explain that some more?
Yeah, I mean, I personally don't think that there's any problem with what I'm doing, but my parents are the ones who have an issue with it. So, I mean, I don't know. I don't really like talking about it because I just don't think that there's anything wrong with it. So, I guess it would just be that I don't know.
I can see that you hesitated there. Is there anything you'd like to talk to me about?
It's frustrating because whenever I try to express to my parents how I feel about it, they don't listen to me. And they just tell me that I'm throwing away my opportunities in education. So I don't really like talking about it, but I guess if I had to explain one thing, it would just be that I do what I want, and a lot of the time the school and police and my parents don't like it. So that bothers me.
Alright, I would like to do a little practice to get you to kind of talk about it a little more, even though you're a little uncomfortable with it.
Okay.
You ready? So when I say a word, I would like you to say the first word that comes to your mind.
Okay. I've heard about this stuff in psychology classes I've taken.
Oh, good. So you know a little about it.
A little bit, yeah.
Well, let's see what we can get out of it today.
Okay.
So, freedom.
Me.
Parents.
Evil.
Evil.
Parents. I'm scared to give you all these answers.
Well, just say what you're comfortable with saying within the first thing that comes to your mind.
Okay.
Alright, let's try this again. So, freedom.
Me.
Parents.
Evil.
School.
Evil.
Boston.
Fun.
Party.
Boring.
Drinking.
Fun. I hope this isn't being too weird. My answers, I want to say better answers, but these are just what come to mind.
No, that's good.
I'm
You
sorry.
can say whatever comes to mind with me. I am here to listen to you. So I noticed you said the word evil a lot within that activity.
I don't know why. I'm sorry.
Don't be sorry. Do you think you could emphasize a little bit about what you think evil means to you in all these
Restrictive.
topics?
Evil is like stopping someone from achieving their true potential and what they want out of life. And yeah.
And I can't help but notice that you might feel the restricted part from your parents when you were growing up.
Yeah. They just like to fit into everything. Like we lived in a nice town, and so they would always make me go to school looking nice and dress nice and go to church with them. And it was all very like structured and very just controlling. And and if I ever wanted to do something different, I would get like shunned.
I can see how that would be very stressful for you growing up.
I didn't like it.
And I can see how that could also bring you to the city. What do you think of your experiences in the city and your opportunities?
I think it's great. I think it's really enabled me to explore who I am and get out and like try different experiences. Yeah, I mean, I don't ever really want to go home, so I actually just like officially moved here and I don't have any reason to go back now. So that's kind of a very freeing feeling. What do you think is gonna happen to me?
What do you mean by that?
Like, how do you go, like, what do you guys do to make me not act out? Because I'm frustrated because I don't think I need this and I don't think I'm acting out, but I don't know if I really want to play along with your games because you're just gonna try to change who I am. That bothers me.
Well, I want you to know that you can feel comfortable talking to me about anything, and hopefully this will bring some clarity to some issues you may be having regarding your parents and your family life with your current actions.
Okay. We'll see.
Could you talk a little bit about why how frustrated you are being here?
Because everybody always acts like there's something wrong with me, but there's not. I'm like a perfectly normal, fine person, but my parents are sending me here all because I like did some drugs and I'm just, trying to be held in a cage. I'm a free bird. I don't like this.
And I can see how you're struggling to open up a little bit here.
Yeah, because you're going to try to change me. And I don't want to be changed.
And why do you think I'm trying to change you?
I don't know. 'Cause that's the goal of therapy, I thought.
Well, I'm hoping in today's session, which we only have a few minutes left of, you can feel comfortable with me and be willing to talk to me about anything you want to talk about.
Okay.
So I would like to focus on the part where you told me that you feel as though you are perfect and nothing is wrong with you.
Mm-hmm.
I can't help to feel like you're in a sense of denial.
I don't think so. I think that everything in my life is good. I have nothing to worry about.
I get the feeling that you feel as though your parents restricted you so much in your childhood that now you act out and you lash out with your freedom you are given in the city.
Maybe, but I think that they're the ones that made me. I don't know. I think that they're just too strict because I like what I'm doing. I'm pretty happy with it. So I don't have a problem with it.
Could you elaborate on how strict they were and what would happen if you did something like this at home?
Well, I mean, it's just like little things. Like if I'd stay out too late or like hang out with friends, I'd be like grounded for a week or something. Like they didn't like my social circle, so they didn't let me hang out with friends. They always thought that I was spending too much time on things other than school, which they didn't like. They'd always get mad, like if I wasn't perfect. Like I entered a spelling bee and I got second place, and I was pretty proud. But I wasn't first, so it wasn't good enough for them. But I cared at first, but then in high school I stopped caring because they'd give me punishments and stuff, but then I just would ignore it and they cared, but I don't know. I couldn't really do that much.
I can see how that would be a burden on your shoulders at such a young age.
Yeah, it was just stressful, but I don't know. I just see it as they have different views, so we just are different people.
And could you explain your relationship with them right now, such as how often you communicate with them or what they think of you now?
It's a little bit strained. Like we talk a couple times a month, really, like once every other week or so. But it's mostly like if I need something from them, like I don't know.
And I remember you saying how much you care about your little brothers. What is their role in the family?
They're super sweet. My second youngest brother, like the one right below me, he is like an overachiever. He's really smart. Gets like straight A's. He's going to like some really good school in the fall. He's like their favorite kid. And then my little brother's like more like me, and he's kind of fun, and, like wants to hang out and stuff. But I get along with both of them really well. Like I don't like resent my older brother or not my younger brother who's older than the other one, just because like we still get along. He's just different. He meshes better with them. I mesh better with other people. So
And how do you feel about the relationship between your parents and your brothers? How does that make you feel?
it's fine. I mean, like growing up, I was jealous that he like got along better with him because then he would never get in trouble. But now I don't really care. I really don't care now that I'm like not near them anymore. It doesn't matter. And they just want to stay in my life.
Your parents?
Yeah, they're making me come here.
So I just want to use this time as a little checkpoint to see where we are in our understanding to make sure we're on the same page. So I get the feeling that since your parents restricted you so much as a child and didn't agree with your interests and who you are exploring here in the city and lashing out, which they are against. And I get the vibe that might be a little cry for attention from your parents. Do you ever seek attention from them growing up or now?
No. I don't really care about them.
I can also see that you're a little tired today.
Yeah, I was out late last night with friends.
What were you and your friends doing?
We went and got 25-cent wings at a local bar. And we had a lot of food, just kind of hung out.
And this is a normal day-to-day thing for you?
I mean, we hang out like a few times a week, but when we do, it's like a really fun time. But then I just got home late because I lost my Charlie card, and so I got to Kenmore, and I was gonna take the T home, and I couldn't, so I had to spend some time like looking for money.
So you are struggling with money currently?
A little bit, but it's fine. I saved up a lot of money from when I was working a lot before, and I'm kind of like riding on that right now. So I'm not working that much.
So since you've changed your hours, I see that you hold school to be very important to you.
Maybe a little bit, not really though.
And is this because your parents find it very important for you and pressure you in it?
I don't know. I don't like school. I just don't. I mean, it's not horrible. I know I have to do it, so I don't really like protest, but there are definitely things I'd rather be doing with my time.
Like dance?
Yeah, exactly.
Is there anything you're reflecting on right now, overthinking?
What I'm gonna do tonight.
So do you kind of live on the edge?
I do what I want.
Great. Well, is there anything else you would like to talk about today before we finish up our session in a couple minutes?
I think I'm good. I can't really think of anything.
I noticed you're struggling about thinking of answers you want to tell me.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't want to say anything that's going to make you like concerned and think you need to change me, because that's not what I need.
Well, what kind of thoughts do you have that you think I would be concerned about?
I don't know. I can't tell you.
Why don't you think you can tell me?
Because if I tell you, you're going to change them.
And you
I
don't
like-
want your thoughts changed?
No, I like who I am.
All right, well, I hope we can pick up next session where we left off and we can figure out some more about your presenting problem.
Okay.
All right, have a nice day.
Me too.
Thank you.
Bye.